Today on Royally Us, Meghan Markle renames her lifestyle brand, and we break down everything you need to know about As Ever. Plus, our very own executive editor, Justin Ravitz, was on the ground at the Invictus Games, and he gives us the inside scoop as the War and Treaty tell us what it was like to perform at the closing ceremony.
It was really cool. It was really down to earth, very personable. He wanted to make sure he met us before everything started, and it was just great.
And Kate and William show some love as she shares drawings from her children. We've got that plus so much more on today's Royally Us. Everyone, and welcome to Royally Us. I'm Christina, and that's Michaela. We have a big week of royal news to get to. From Meghan Markle to Prince Harry, they are kind of dominating the headlines this week.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's been a really positive week and so many happy, uplifting stories. So I'm really excited to get into it.
Definitely. We're going to break down the Invictus Games in just a minute. But before we do, Meghan Markle has renamed her lifestyle brand from American Riviera Orchard to As Ever. She announced the news via Instagram on February 17th, posting a video recorded by her husband, Prince Harry, in an outdoor garden. So last year, Meghan debuted the first product, strawberry jam, from the company formerly known as American Riviera Orchard. And her announcement coincided with the launch of the new As Ever website, which featured an image of Meghan and her 3-year-old daughter, Princess Lilibet, walking in a idyllic coastal setting. So this is very exciting for her. Here's a look at her announcement.
As Ever essentially means as it's always been. And if you followed me since 2014 with the TIG, you know I've always loved cooking and crafting and gardening. This is what I do, and I haven't been able to share it with you in the same way for the past few years, but now I can. So as things are starting to trickle out there, I wanted you to hear it from me first. Of course, there will be fruit preserves. I think we're all clear at this point that jam is my jam. But there's so many more products that I just love that I use in my home, and now it's time to share it with you. So I can't wait for you to see it. Thanks, guys.
All right, what did you make of As Ever? So we've been waiting for months, maybe even like a year at this point, for what was going to happen with American Riviera Orchard. We have the Netflix show coming out in a couple weeks, and now she's decided to change the name. I know there was a lot of trademark issues and things like that, so maybe that's why, but what was your take on this?
Yeah, I really liked everything around the full announcement. Obviously, it's difficult when you're changing a brand name before it's even kind of come off the ground. But I think she's done it really well, and it's really sweet how she's incorporated some family elements, you know, the picture with Lilibet, and then we know that the logo had a really special nod to Prince Harry. So the logo had a palm tree and 2 hummingbirds, and we know that the palm tree was chosen because it represents their home in California, and then the 2 hummingbirds because they're a favorite of Harry's. If you've read Spare, then you'll know that that was a really significant thing for him. After his grandmother, the Queen, died, he saw a hummingbird in his home, and he thought maybe it was a spiritual sign. So it's just little elements like that where you can tell that she's really incorporated the people she loves into her brand. And you know, with Archwell, their charitable foundation, being named after their son Archie, it's now just nice to see that she's implemented other family members in this new venture as well.
Yeah, I love that she's been leaving little hints about As Ever over the past few weeks too, signing all of her Instagram messages with As Ever Meghan. So it seems like she's been like letting us know that this was a turn for a while. But it'll be exciting to see what this new Netflix show brings in just a couple weeks and what she's going to do with this brand. You know, she captioned the video that, you know, this is going to be kind of reminiscent of the TIG, which was her lifestyle brand from, you know, over 10 years ago. So it has been a space that she has occupied before. I know a lot of people are giving her backlash, being like, you know, she has to prove herself in this space before she kind of brands herself as that. But she has been doing this for quite some time. So it will be interesting to see what happens going forward.
Yeah, she's a pro, so yeah, we'll just have to see.
We'll have to wait and see. All right. Well, Prince William and Princess Kate shared a sweet PDA moment in a candid photo shared on social media for Valentine's Day. In the image, captioned with a heart emoji, William and Kate can be seen sitting on a blanket with woodland surroundings. They hold hands as William kisses Kate on the cheek. This, of course, was a image taken from the couple's video message in September of last year when Kate announced that she had completed chemotherapy treatment. So it was nice that they, brought this image back around. It was such a moving and beautiful video, and it was so lovely to see them interact as a family. So I love that they chose this photo to post on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I think it's really sweet, and especially because I was just speaking to a royal photographer about this and how the royals PDA has changed over the years, and how Harry and Meghan were really kind of the first ones to be so open with their displays of affection, and now we're seeing William and Kate do that as well. So it's totally different from the days where they would just stand shoulder to shoulder and smile for photos.
It is. It's nice to see the human side and what they're like, maybe like behind closed doors and not so stoic and statuesque. So it is nice to have them to show a little love every now and then. All right, well, now it is time to spill the royalty, and I am so excited because we are joined by our executive editor, Justin Ravitz,
Hi.
who is on the ground, or as Meghan likes to say, boots on the ground at the
on the
Invictus Games. How was it?
It was great. It was great. I was there for the Vancouver portion of the game, so like the final stretch. I got to talk to all these incredibly inspiring athletes, these military veterans, some of them are active duty, talking to me about how sport helped them recover and heal both physically and emotionally. I caught the Duke, Prince Harry, at several events. Actually, one of my highlights was at a indoor rowing event. I sat just a few rows behind Prince Harry and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, so they were chatting and catching up and watching the sports. So it was all like quite overwhelming and inspiring, and you can really see how genuinely committed Prince Harry is to this cause, and to see his connection with these athletes is really heartwarming and inspiring. And then hearing from the athletes directly, talking to us about how connected he is and how relatable he is, because he's a veteran also, and he's dealt with trauma and combat, and this cause is just so near and dear to him. And we were just talking off camera, Vancouver is a really beautiful city. Yeah, so it was a lot. And actually I ate at the restaurant where Harry and Meghan had a double date with Michael Bublé and his wife. It's called Viz's. And I had a few of the dishes that they apparently had. I had like a butter chicken and lamb lollipops. It was great. And he's told me how much they love the food, how Meghan had a greater tolerance for spice than Harry did. So I really got a flavor for the experience.
Definitely. There's so many wonderful articles that you can check out on usmagazine.com of all of your amazing reporting. It really was beautiful. And I know, Michaela, you also spoke to a photographer that was at the Invictus Games who captured some of Harry and Meghan's PDA moments as well, right?
Yeah, that's right. I just interviewed him, Karwai Tang. He's been photographing the royals for years now, and he was one of the photographers to capture Harry and Meghan kissing and all of their sweet moments. And he just had nothing but positive things to say about the experience. And he says they're always a joy to photograph, always genuine and always really touchy-feely. So it's really nice to hear that everyone who's involved with the games, everyone that goes, from the photographers to the athletes, everyone seems to have such a positive experience, and it's doing so much good as well.
And it seems like he wants to keep this going for years and years and years, based on closing ceremony remarks and things like that too.
Yeah. The next games are going to be in 2027 in Birmingham, Birmingham, UK. So back in his home country, and apparently he was telling, I heard that Birmingham is very significant and poignant because that is where most British soldiers immediately went to rehabilitate after Afghanistan. So it's very a meaningful spot. And also, I mean, Harry's back in his home country, so we'll see how that looks, because we know there's been lots of issues with him in his home country. So
we'll have lots to talk about.
Yeah, we'll have lots to talk about in 2 years. Oh my
in
God.
2 years, definitely. Well, Justin, fabulous job.
Yeah.
It looked like so much fun and like such a wonderful, meaningful weekend.
Thank you. Yeah, more to come. We'll have more to talk about next week.
Yes, more to come next week. But we also got the chance to speak to the Warren Treaty, who performed at the closing ceremony of the events as well. And here's what they had to say about their interaction with Prince Harry. I know you guys are fresh off of the Invictus Games too. How was that?
That was wow.
Yeah.
Breathtaking.
Was that?
It really was. I mean, to see what Prince Harry's been able to do with Invictus Games and how it's grown, and to just experience the families and the wives and all the people who are involved. It was amazing.
Did you have a conversation with Prince Harry? Is
he
a big fan?
Oh, yeah.
He
Definitely. He was so just, I mean, to say this about the Prince, he was so cool. I mean, he really was. He was really cool. He was really down to earth, very personable. He wanted to make sure he met us before everything started, and it was just great.
It was a quick convo.
Good moments,
I took a little photo, and I love the fact that the Prime Minister was out in the audience as well.
Awesome.
Being able to look out there and to see his face and everything. I mean, it just was just a really cool moment.
Definitely. It seems like it. You know, seeing all the videos and the photos and everything, it looks like a really great event. All right. It seems like everybody had a great time at the Invictus Games. So let's wrap it up with our pint-sized palace, and Princess Kate showed off the artistic abilities of her and Prince William's 3 kids. She shared these photos on Instagram with the caption, "The At Early Childhood Shaping Us framework describes the social and emotional skills which start to develop in early childhood. These skills are key throughout our lives, shaping who we are, how we manage our thoughts and emotions, how we communicate with and relate to others, and how we explore the world around us. Drawing portraits with children can provide a moment of connection as you spend time looking at and focusing on one another, as well as being creative and, most importantly, having lots of fun together." All 3 of Kate and William's children seem to draw sketches of their mother. For her part, she seemed to depict Louis with his eyes closed. As a mom with young kids around her age, I have to attest that drawing and sitting down and drawing portraits with your kids is such a great way to connect. And it's so fun to see their vision come to life. So I love this. And I think it's a great tool and a fun activity to do with your children.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, I don't have kids myself, but I can totally imagine how not only fun, but just totally amusing it would be to see your kids do this. And it's lovely because I'm sure she's trying to think of ways to incorporate the kids into more of her, public engagements and various projects without it being too invasive. And just like we saw Louis take the photo of Kate a few weeks ago, this is a really nice way to incorporate the kids without it being too much of the spotlight on them, and more so about the cause, which is lovely.
Definitely a perfect balance. I love it. Well, this was such a fun show, Michaela. Such great uplifting stories, uplifting news. We love to see it. So hopefully that continues in the weeks to come.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure. And yeah, so many fun stories this week.
Definitely. All right. Well, everybody keep commenting, keep subscribing, and Michaela and I will see you next week.